Hi, I'm John the Engineer Turmel, and this is my 98th election pushing the same program. Now, I'm going to tell you about the smartest idea you ever heard. Paying kids with bus tickets to shovel your snow. Paying kids with transport credits to shovel your snow and do community services. Now, I have the site smartestmanonearth.ca, smartestman.ca for short. And I'm going to explain to you how you've been ripped off and how you can be helped. In verse, first of all, Globe and Mail 3 weeks ago pointed out that half of Canadians go broke with a $200 problem. They're $200 away from going broke. That's how bad things are. So I'm going to explain why they're so poor. Canada's debt national had much stability till 1974, starts exponentiality. Same in Ontario, Quebec, debts doubling over time. Did debts all start to grow in big coincidence sublime? The Bank of Canada once loaned to provinces and Fed without the interest that causes budgets to turn red. It financed major projects, made St. Lawrence Seaway B. Trans-Canada was highway funded sea to shining sea. Not only infrastructure, also paid for World War II. With interest-free cash, we almost nothing couldn't do. With only taxes for depreciation and repair, so easily affordable without the banker's share. But in 1974, Pierre Trudeau cut the feed, said no more interest-free loans for infrastructure need. All governments must borrow now new funds from private banks and raise new tax to service interest with bankers' thanks. So, Pierre Trudeau is responsible for debts out of control, for lifting, but worse, in 1968, Pierre lifted cap on interest rates from 6% to 60%. That's the rap. In 12 years, central bank rate went to 22%. More tax to pay a higher debt at higher rates was spent. Pierre Trudeau is responsible for debts out of control, for lifting rate cap and ending interest-free loans, his role. So, our taxes disappear since over 40 years ago for interest on Trudeau's debt we didn't have to owe. If we got back $2 trillion taxed since Pierre helped banks us fleece, divided up, that would be 60 grand apiece. So if Mr. Spock could, at Computer Central all alone, debug bad code to save a planet from the danger zone, no help was needed from the low-tech slows who had no clue. What Spock could do, the engineer says, I can do it too. So, how does it end? So, Pierre Trudeau, okay. Oh, Canada sure could have offered all a living swell, but Pierre in 1974 turned heaven into hell. So, Pierre's the one who started the national debt that caused us to pay taxes, to pay interest on a national debt, which would have been interest-free if he hadn't done that. Now, if Mr. Spock can reprogram the computer to fix it, so can I. This software, Let's, is time bank software. It allows single parents, for instance, to log on what nights they can double-duty babysit each other's kids, and then pay each other with one-hour bills, even when they're broke. A time bank. So, this is my cartoon for federal elections, which has your choice. You can vote for the monkey with the software, or you can vote for the party leaders who don't have any software. So, I'm saying that I can reprogram the bank's computers and get you back your 60 G's. So, if you're one of these people who's $200 away from being broke, and you don't like the fact that they took 60 G's out of your account to pay interest on Trudeau's debt, then you can always vote for smartestmanonearth.ca, smartestman.ca for short. Check out my site. I'm John the Engineer Turmel, hoping you wise up and let me do what I can do that the others cannot.
Hi there, my name is Keith Komar. I'm the candidate for the Libertarian Party of Canada. I'm a 47-year-old bricklayer. I'm a father and an activist, and I'm one of you. I'm here to make change for the people. You'll hear a lot of conversations on the debate stage about people taking power. And we believe that it's more about holding the public trust. We want to hold your trust as a Libertarian Party. We understand that the views of the people are more important than the views of the party, and we want to represent you and be accountable and responsible to you as a public. So I'd like to discuss a little bit of our policies today so you have an understanding of where we are as the Libertarian Party. And the first thing I'd like to address is taxation. We abhor taxation, but we understand that there is some necessary need for this in society today. So we would like to introduce a flat tax of 15%, which would be across the board for business and for individuals. And what that would do is it would simplify the tax code, and it would allow people to have their own piece of the pie back in their pocket. We find that government wastes money, and a lot of the administration that's involved hurts the people themselves. So we want you to have that money back in your own pocket so that you can spend it on the things that you need to do in your life. We would also like to discuss a little bit here today about environmental policies. The carbon tax, we think, is probably one of the worst new taxes that have come out in modern day. It is punitive, and it is a straight redistribution of wealth. And we don't believe that the government should be involved in redistributing money from one hand to the next. We would eliminate the carbon tax. And our environmental policy would be more focused on countries that do not respect the environment as we do in Canada. We feel we're leaders in Canada in environmental protection. So we would be looking at countries that don't have these wonderful policies to look after the environment, and we would affect change through them and bring them into line through our trade policies and such like that. We find that that is the best way to help the environment as opposed to penalizing Canadians. We also believe that healthcare is a huge issue nowadays, and we would like to see healthcare return to the provinces. We find that the extra layer of the federal government being involved in healthcare, A, costs the taxpayers a lot of money, and B, takes away from the accountability. We want government to be accountable and responsible for its actions. So healthcare, we'd like to see go back to the provinces, stop the federal transfers, allow the provinces to provide the care that they need for the people. Another big issue, and I think this is a very large issue nowadays, is seniors. And what would we do to help the issue that is facing most seniors, which is not enough funds? And frankly, we feel that the way that they've been handled deserves an apology. Their money has been stolen from them for the last 50 years, and it's a shame that we have seniors who are now becoming homeless because their wealth has been stolen from them and they don't have it left. So we would like to see first that apology happen, and then we'd like to see that whole industry, CPP, privatized. We think that the free market can do a lot better job with your money than the government ever could. So we'd like to fix the currency, possibly give some reparations for the seniors out there, and look at it as that type of an angle. At the end of it all, we have a unique opportunity here coming up because it's a by-election, and we're not necessarily electing a prime minister, so you're kind of free to elect who you want here and who you feel that you align most with. So I'd like you to take this opportunity and not fall into the fallacy of voting for the lesser of two evils and searching your conscience and finding a party that works best for you. And as a Libertarian, I'd like to be that person on the ballot to hold your public trust. Thank you very much.